All right, so let's continue talking about source energy and some of the things I talked about. Now, if you haven't seen the first video, make sure you watch the first video in this series, in this, not really a series, I guess, this grouping of videos. But I already talked about the idea that source is not a consciousness, it is energy, it is the background of existence for the universe. Consciousness resides within it, and those who are channeling and doing all this stuff, when they connect, they are connecting to other beings who are intermediaries for source energy and existence and experience and that type of thing, and that there really is no source consciousness that is singular consciousness. The universe was created, beings were brought in to create within it for those rules and regulations, and source of the universe is just energy. It has no intention, malevolent or benevolent, and anybody saying that something is not from source is either not entirely aware of how this structure works, or not aware of the beings and intermediaries and how things work, because nothing is actually truly from source. It's all intermediary work with higher vibrational beings, and I explained that a lot more in the previous video. One of the things I wanted to talk about, though, was tools and growth and awareness and healing, because I feel like on this path as we go forward, there are going to be a lot of people coming out and saying things like, that is not from source, XYZ, whatever it is, channeling, crystals, Reiki, energy healing, spirit art, not technically from source. And that's because it's not, none of it is. But what those people don't realize is, in saying that, a lot of people on their waking journey are going to take that as malevolence, as not good, as bad. It's not the truth. There is no malevolence or benevolence from the energy of the universe of creation. Malevolence and benevolence are intention, and I cannot say that enough. I say it often in my videos. They are intention from conscious energy. They are intention from a specific being. They are not of, like, it's not an aspect of the universe. The aspect of the universe is free will, is choice for anything that has consciousness to it, to make a choice to do good things or bad things. And based on those things, there are rules like karma that bring energy back and magnetize energy in different ways. Malevolence and benevolence is choice. It is not related to source at all. The only thing related to source is the law of one, which is about like free will and all this other stuff, and the rules of how the universe operates. So as people start talking to galactics and angels and unicorns and dragons and all these other beings, there are going to be others out there that say that is not from source. And it's true. It's not from source. But nothing is from source, because it's all an intermediary. Like, the knowledge you're getting is all intermediary. If you're channeling, if you're accessing, if you're doing energy work, you're not at source. Is not a consciousness. Source is energy. It's not consciousness. It's consciousness is an aspect of creation in this universe, and the energy is I just lost. I had a guide come in and say that, and then took off and broke my train of thought. So you can say source is not consciousness. It is an aspect of creation. And so, like, you have these people who are waking up to channeling and going, is this bad, is this evil, especially those who are religious, and then hearing things like, it's not from source, it's not God, it's not spirit, the universe, spirit, whatever. That does not mean it's malevolent. That does not mean the tool is malevolent, just because it is not a direct connection to source. Humans vibrationally do not have the capability of connecting directly to the source energy. We use intermediaries like archangels and others who can access through us. But just because something is not from source does not make it evil, does not make it malicious. And tools are there to help you on your journey. Energy healing is a tool that when you're early on in your journey, most people will resonate with Reiki first. When you're early in your journey, they use the tool to understand the aspect of the universe that allows for energy healing, that allows the magnetism of energy for you to intentionally use energy in a healing way, in a purposeful way, in an intentional way to heal people. It is a tool to help people heal energetically and bring awareness to what is wrong with them. It is not meant to be relied on. As a healer, you're supposed to use those tools to heal people in the moment and teach people what they need to fix and change so that they don't rely on you and they all come back to themselves and heal themselves on their journey. But they can still use the tools. Crystals are a tool from Gaia, from the earth, from other planets, created because the universe had creation, and in the various aspects of how the source energy, that's it, source energy, the aspects of how beings came in and used that energy to create within it, created aspects from this energy that turned into crystals, that created processes that heat and pressurize stone and rock and create crystals, that heat magma and create crystals in those reactions. That is now a rule of nature, of how these different energies interact with each other. They are all of source. Everything. Crystals are of source because they are natural. They are part of the universe. They work off the laws and rules of the universe based on whoever designed the original interactions of that. But that rule is not consciousness. That energy initially is not consciousness. It is just a background, a structure to create those tools of crystals. Sage is another tool, a plant that is grown and has energetic properties that help clear and heal. Sound is a tool. Now, sound is a little different. Sound is actually the backbone of the universe in a way, sound and light. They are frequencies, and sound is a frequency that everything vibrates. And sound is just your ability to perceive the vibration of something by hearing. That's all sound is. Sound doesn't actually exist. Sound is a perception. It doesn't actually exist. The frequency exists. The vibration exists. But the actual sound is a perception in your mind, created by your mind, using this thing that is within this universe vibrating and that type of thing. It is a tool that you can use. There are some people that as things rise and people awaken more, they're going to say, anything outside of yourself is not from source. It's not true. Healing does come back to you. Healing comes back to within you. And understanding you are the healer of yourself, but you can use the tools. You can use the tools to heal yourself, and then you get to a point where you don't need the tools anymore. It does not mean don't ever use the tools. The tools are there to help you, like anything. And after you heal yourself and become stronger, there might be people that say, don't use the tools anymore. You can get to a point where you don't use the tools. Even I say I'm to a point where I don't use a lot of those tools. I don't really use sage unless I'm called to. I have crystals around, but there are certain tools I don't always use. I use sound frequency and crystals, and here's the way I explain it. Because people will be like, well, that's a tool, and you're putting energy outside of yourself and giving energy away and giving power away, and that's not true. What you're doing is once you've healed yourself and you are sovereign, you are strong, you are protected, you are an individual, you're in control of your own reality, all this stuff. You become that strength, that warrior, that light, that power. no matter what. There's a reason a lot of people uh, aren't able to access my field, because it is so strong and powerful that I have created it that way. And I know that, and I'm firm in that, and I believe that and feel that. I know, believe, and feel that. And that is the existence of my reality. The way my guides have explained it, it's like a warrior. So as galactics come into your awareness, as angels, as dragons, as all these other beings come into your awareness, you can work with them, and you can be the most powerful being in the universe, and you can come into awareness with them. If you are a warrior and you are the most physically fit, the strongest, the most capable warrior, the most skilled, nobody can beat you type of thing. Like, you're battling them and nobody can take you down because of all your knowledge and your skill set. So you know you are the most powerful. If you walk into battle, you are still going to wear armor. You are still going to take a sword. You are still going to take defensive and offensive tools with you into battle to protect yourself. You will always do that because you are a warrior who is working in those energies. If you're at home, you're not going to do that. You'll sit back in your chair, you'll relax, all that. People who are on a journey of healing, once they get to a certain point, may have no interest in connecting to other beings and doing all this energy work. They may just want to sit in their home and do nothing. Others may want to continue channeling, may want to work exploring things astrally, may want to do healing work, may want to help the collective in other ways, all that. Others may just isolate themselves, and that's fine. The tools are your armor. They are your additions. Even though you know and have firmed into your reality that you are impenetrable, that nothing can affect you, the tools are not outside yourself. They are like additional shields. So when you have that and you have that layer, I explain it like telepathy. When I'm in my power, strong, all that, and I know it, I am shielded all the time. You still have telepathic pings that come in from other people because of the way energy works. And you can feel them when you wake to that. You can feel them. So you'll feel the pings. And when we're at our most powerful and our most fueled, meaning we have the most amount of energy in us because we are not drained. We are not drained. Those aren't a problem. Energy, you can become drained of energy, which means, as like any science fiction movie shows, your force fields shimmer and you might feel the pings more. When you use a tool like a crystal or sage or something, you're adding a layer around that, outside of yourself, outside of your shields, outside of your energy. You're adding another protective layer so that you don't have to worry about when that happens, so that you can sleep with ease and recharge and rest and always stay strong, just like a warrior would go into battle, so that when he's taking a sword and fighting somebody, the guy behind him who hits his leg, he's not worried about the small sword hitting his leg because there's armor there. It just bounces off. He does his thing, turns around, pays attention to the next person because he's in battle. When he's not in battle and he's not working in energy, i.e., you're not channeling, you're not working with beings who are of different vibrations, you're not in human spaces with humans of different vibrations and all the chaos around them and all that. When you're not in that space and you're completely isolated, you don't need to worry about it. When you're in the other spaces, you will realize that you are a battery. Your energy can drain, and those tools are there to help you. They are not outside of yourself in the sense of giving your power away. They are like anybody, any warrior, anybody who is of the highest fitness, highest skill set, knows and trusts in their self to the fullest, in their protective abilities. They still wear armor. They still wear shields. They still have tools that they are using that are technically outside of themselves, but it is so they do not have to pay attention to those spaces while they are doing something else. It is so you have a shield and do not have to be like, oh, the energy is low in an energetic sense. If your energy is low because you've been doing readings or you've been channeling or you've been walking through Walmart, anybody who wakes up and walks through Walmart knows it like you're spreading so much energy in that low vibrational place, it pulls the energy out. You only have so much energy within you. Everybody's like a battery. That's why you eat food. Same with energy. You have to replenish your energy. When your energy gets low, you don't have as much to defend yourself, to shield yourself, to do those things. So it is perfectly fine to wear crystals, to do other things, use sage, and things that are technically outside of yourself, because all you're doing is adding an additional shield of protection. Ultimately, you are the ultimate protector, but it is better if you also have that additional stuff around you. You're not giving your power away. When you know, feel, and believe and affirm your reality, your healing, and all that into existence, you're not giving your power away by wearing a crystal. You're adding energy to you. It's like adding a battery pack. If you need more power, it's like adding another battery pack and adding another shield or those types of things. And tools are, as people wake up and realize, especially religious people, and realize that these things exist and how much power they have and energy they have, you'll probably hear people say, well, that's not God, that's not from source, why, that's black magic, all this other stuff. And first of all, black magic's a thing. It doesn't exist. Magic is not good or bad. Magic is laws of the universe. It's the intention that's good or bad. But whatever label they give it, the tools are not bad. The tool, it's all in the way you use the tools. It's all in why you use the tools and whether or not you are using the tools to replace doing things yourself. You should be able to do everything yourself. Everything comes back to yourself. You should be able to do it all yourself. Maintain your energy, maintain your shields, but also understand that energy is not infinite within you, and you have to restore it, which is why we also have things like crystals, grids, sage, salt baths, all this other stuff. You're not giving your power away when you understand that. You're just using a tool, just like a carpenter would use a tool. A carpenter, for example, can use a hammer and a nail, a handsaw, a chisel, and build a house. They can use their own hands to make, a lot of them could even make those from their own hands without any tools. You could go and like find a rock and all this other stuff. What are they going to do? They know how to build a house. They can do it on their own. They don't need anything outside of themselves. Walk into the woods because they know it so well and build a house, even just a rickety one, whatever, because they have the knowledge, the knowing, the belief, the feeling that they can build a house without anything outside of themselves other than their hands. They can walk into anywhere with their hands and build a home. Most of them are going to use power tools. Why do they use power tools? They're not giving their power away. They're not giving their knowledge away. They're not giving their energy away. It's because it's easier. It's easier to use a power saw than it is to use a hand saw, than it is to go into the woods and break a piece of wood apart and try to finagle it into a board. It's easier to use the power saw. Same with crystals and stuff. It's easier to have a layer between you and your outside, between your energy and the energy outside of yourself, to have a layer from a crystal energy around you that keeps telepathic pings from ever touching your field. Because you can deal with the telepathic pings when they hit your field. But sometimes they're just annoying and you don't want to. So you use a crystal and it creates a field around your field that's like a sheath where the pings hit that field and you're never even aware because you're like, it's just protected. It's the same thing. It's this idea that you're not giving your power away. You know how to do everything. You're sovereign. You know it, feel it, believe it. You use the tools to help you. You use the tools to add additional protections and things so that you don't have to focus your energy and time on outside realities and the effects of those realities coming in on you. This is something a lot of people don't understand, especially when they're coming into self-awareness and trying to determine like the idea of working within yourself. You should always work within yourself for your healing and understand that you are the ultimate source of your being, but also knowing that there are elements outside of you. And that does not mean you are outside of self or giving your power away, even though the words are outside of you. You are not giving your power away. There are elements outside of you who can affect you. And so you have the choice in using tools to aid you and make your journey easier. You can use them or not use them, but there is no intention of malevolence, benevolence, or removing yourself from your power type of thing. The only way you remove yourself from your power is if you completely rely on that tool. If you go to a Reiki practitioner and you keep going back to that Reiki practitioner, and this is a heads up for anybody using Reiki practitioners. And if you've watched my videos, you know I always say it's not that I'm picking on them on purpose in a sense. It's just that they are so commercialized, everybody knows who they are, versus saying some of the other terms that are out there. Maybe healer is a better way to phrase it. If you go to a healer and you have to keep going back every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, every month, you have not discovered the healing that needs to be done. And you should find somebody who can teach you to heal yourself, because you should not be in any space ever where you are reliant on that practitioner. It does not matter what they're doing. That's why I'm so adamant with and I shifted my services. I used to do spirit art for basically everybody, and then I shifted it and designed it for people specifically on a journey of wanting to work with beings of other realms on their own, not wanting to be told. Only I was getting a lot of people that wanted to be told who was around them, but not actually want to work with them. It was more of like entertainment, I guess. If you rely on me to tell you who your guides are, to tell you who's around you, and you keep coming back to me and relying on me, then you're not doing the work to do it yourself when you can do it all yourself. Same with Reiki, same with all that stuff. Our job is in my example, is to go, here is a guide around you. Here's how you can talk to them. Here's how you can connect and work with them. Here's how you can see them. Here are the tools. Here are the meditations, the sounds, the crystals, the things to help your vibration, whatever it is, get to that space. And if you follow that, you will get to that space. Now, that's the key. You have to be the one willing to do that. And if you're willing to do that, then guess what? You will discover that you can talk to galactics too, that you can talk to the dragons, that you can do all that. If you do that with healing stuff, say Reiki, and you go to your Reiki practitioner and you say, hey, you're doing great work, you're doing energy work, I feel great when I leave, but I keep having to come back. What is wrong with me? They should be able to teach you and tell you how to heal yourself. And if they can't, they have not reached a level of awareness to be able to do that healing part. It's not their fault. A lot of them aren't taught that. Reiki, I've taken Reiki. They don't teach you to heal people. They teach you, here's energy healing, and then people can come back and you'll keep energy healing them. They don't teach you about, here's energy healing, and when you're doing the energy healing, you need to work and figure out what is the actual problem going on so that they can always be in a fully healed state. So that is your job as an individual, is to use the tools to help you shift your vibration, heal yourself, whatever it is, from the state you are in, and then understand it all comes back to you, and that you can do all of this on your own, and you're not relying on people outside of yourself to do it, but that also the tools are there to help you, to strengthen you, to make it easier for you, just like a warrior wears armor type of thing, to make it easier for you and just a better experience. And to know and understand that this idea of from source is misunderstood by people waking up, and especially people waking up and experiencing new realms. Because if you go back to the video I explained before, source is not consciousness, it is the energy of the universe. It is not the benevolence or malevolence, it is just the rule set, the energy, the existence, the tool of creation, and the beings within it are the ones that you're speaking with. You just think you're speaking with source God because a lot of people access oneness frequency or higher and have never accessed that before and go, oh my God, this is like, and that's the say, oh my God, because it's so loving, so pure, so original and pure in its state, that they go, this is God. And you're actually working with other energies, other consciousnesses, other existences. So the whole point of all of this is, please do not fear the tools. They are there to help you. Please do not fear the beings. They are there to help you. And the words from source, we just need to have awareness for people that others saying things are not from source does not mean it is malevolent. And those who say they are speaking for source do not have an understanding of what source actually is. Different levels of awareness and consciousness and that type of thing. But when you have an understanding of what it actually is, you will be just like my books, like this is from an archangel, this is from a high vibrational being, this is from XYZ, because we literally cannot comprehend some of those high vibrations and need those intermediaries. And with the energy itself does not have consciousness, what people would call God, source, that it's just energy, it's rules, it's the operation of the universe, the law of one, the law of existence. So I hope that explains and helps some people with that. I felt really called to talk about that, and it took 2 videos. So hopefully you learned something, and let me know if you have any questions. I am grateful for each and every one of you, and I love you all.